All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. SBL Game 2, AJS 0, Cal, Hibbs, bringing you TFF versus Back in Our Day.
Yeah, big game today. Lots of, one playoff implication coming out in this match. Could be pretty exciting.
Yeah, Back in Our Day trying to secure the first seed as we now have that three-way tie for first. If Back in Our Day win here, we could be down to a two-way tie for first after this game. Table for 4, not actually playing for anything.
Table for 4, I think, can catch Back in Our Day if they win today, right? There's a 2-game difference, and they can tie up the season score.
Let me see who won the first time they played.
Well, either way, but go ahead.
So yes, if Table for 4 were to win out and Back in Our Day were to lose out,
think of it this way. So Table for 4, I don't know who they play next week, but it's not Ornhub and it's not us. So they play the Broke Bottom Boys. Not a good team, right? So that should be a win. Back in Our Day has to play Ornhub next week. And even though Ornhub could face quite the beating later tonight, I think they will take that game next week. So I think Back in Our Day has to be a little worried if they can't close this one out. They could finish first this season, or they could finish fourth, and that would be not the way you want to end off your season.
Both of these teams are actually on pretty good winning streaks, are they not?
Yeah, Table for 4 has won 4 of their last 5. Back in Our Day is on a 4-win straight streak. So these two teams definitely on the hotter side. And yeah, I'm excited. This should be better League of Legends than the last game. As I'm trying to figure out who is Dan is missing from Table for 4 this week. They have Gabe O'Neill in. We'll see who plays where.
I actually thought DTF played not the greatest game of League you've ever seen, but a fine game of League for sure.
That's true. By Baddy League standards, they played very well.
By their own standards,
they played their best game of the season.
Freaking SKT, yeah. So, go ahead.
This Gragas first pick for Zach, actually. We've been seeing him on the Trundle, I believe, the past couple of weeks. So, maybe another comfort pick for him. Gragas always really good for disruption. Technically a flex pick for the top lane, but not something we're going to see Freg play.
Yeah, that would be a shocker. But on the other side, Back in Our Day, going to take Jhin and Nocturne here. Going for that downtown comp, which we've seen Salvo play Jhin a few times. It went well last week, 4-0-10 on that Jhin last week. He got the interview. But I guess I got to see it work twice before I'm going to be a believer. Not a pick I have traditionally liked out of Salvo, but I do love the Nocturne pick out of Splinter. He's been getting, as the season's been going on, he's really starting to ramp up into the Master Splinter we all know and love. And Nocturne, one of his kind of traditional forced shit picks. But on the other side, we got Darius and Kled getting picked. Guys, what the hell is going on?
Kled mid?
Kled that seems like a disenchanted pick, right? He played Aurelia. That was like a melee mid thing that he had going on, so I believe it.
Alright, well, that's Blinds, Kled, and now the counter pick is going to be Garen.
I think that's a Chopman versus Freg. They've traded places.
Garen versus Darius in the top lane. This game.
Dude, what are the chances we get to see the God Kings? I hope they both had the skins.
Holy shit.
But traditionally, Garen loses that matchup.
We can just force these, like, we can give these teams a loss if they don't have God King.
Sure.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to do that.
Oh, I am.
I know Mad Cow has the God King skin. I'm not sure about Freg.
Freg seems like he would have a God King skin.
Expect, for sure. Ooh.
They're gonna get that second rotation ban on the Lux because Gabe hasn't picked yet, and they might be able to ban out another bot lane pick that could be important. So, interesting strategy. I don't know if that Kled was gonna get banned. Same thing with CLG this past weekend. No one saw the Kled coming. Maybe he was played it in solo queue or something, but I don't think that was gonna get banned. So, maybe if they wanted to focus on bot lane a little bit more, they could have gotten that pick down. So you're going to see that Lux and Morgana go out, and two pretty annoying champions to play against.
Yeah, two Do these teams play Morgana?
Dan
Dan played it last week.
Yeah, Dan
so
played it,
but he's not here.
Yeah, Boommaster Spiffy is traditionally a tank player. I would not have expected him to play Morgana. He said himself that he just prefers Nautilus or stuff like that. So, a little bit. I don't think they looked into it enough, and they just looked at what they played.
Well, there's the big whoopsie, but wouldn't be a draft without a few of those, as we got a lot of support bans coming through. Lux, presumably a bot lane, not a support lane ban.
Yeah. Zyra still is up, actually, which is something Scotch has been playing quite a bit.
Zyra Jhin could be a pretty powerful lane here, but no, they're going to go for the Leona instead. This is actually the weakest teams we've seen back in our day run, which should set Blabuer up for, I assume, the Ziggs pick at the ends.
I like the Leona pick for outside of laning phase, and maybe even inside of laning phase if they can get on top of them. But that Zyra isn't going to provide as much of that hard lockdown like Leona, and given that they've already picked Garen and Nocturne, two champions that prescribe to the run at you form of engage, or Nocturne kind of dashes, but he doesn't provide hard CC. I think Leona gets a lot of value here.
Okay, is this a Kled or Darius support? It must be.
That's Victor bottom.
Victor bot lane?
Yeah, that's Victor bottom.
So Victor Nautilus is going to be the bot lane for Gabe and Spiffy.
That's my guess.
That's my guess.
I don't know for a fact.
Why? Okay. I guess Victor is a pretty safe champion. He can farm from very far away.
They need magic damage, Cal.
Some people are scared of...
And they want to play Kled mid. Just leave him be.
Some people are scared of Scotch's Leona, dude. He'll try to kill you at level 1.
Yeah.
So we got this last pick. Like I said, I really expect this to be Ziggs. But no, it's going to be Lissandra, actually. So I stands corrected.
Maybe he's a bit afraid of being engaged on.
Yeah, I kind of like that. With the Kled coming in on the Lissandra can delay pretty heavily for Nocturne engage to come through. Pretty safe pick. Can wave clear pretty well. So I kind of like that pick.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I would say Lissandra wave clears well.
Lissandra wave clears pretty well. E is pretty good wave clear.
Yeah, it's not safe though. You have to get up close and personal with those creeps.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
And if you do use your E to wave clear, you have to play pretty safe the next
There's anything Blab does well, it's wave clear safely. Okay.
Yeah, but that's from Ziggs and Oriana. Like, no, that's from downtown.
Lissandra has a better, safer wave clear than Oriana does. I think.
Absolutely not. You silly jungler top lane ADC support player. You don't know the mid lane champs like I do.
I played mid a couple games last season, alright?
I played mid a couple games in season 2. But more importantly, I played Lissandra at top lane a lot.
Lissandra top is a different story. That's not a very safe lane for Lissandra.
But at least for Blab's sake, I kind of want to just start shit-talking Blab right now, just to see if they respond to Twitch chat, actually. Is it wrong of me to think that way?
He usually listens to the first, I think him and
Salvo.
He already is telling us off about it.
There was a point last week where somebody said something in Twitch chat, like 15 minutes into the game, and Blab responded. Which I loved. It's fucking typical Blab moments.
That might explain some of his lackluster play in the past. So you could always like say, well, I was looking at Twitch chat while I was playing, so that's why I forgot to do that or whatever.
Yeah, so Blab giving us the Lissandra is safer from ganks, but Ori's safer farmer, which would be what I would have predicted. So, but he's going with the ignites on the Lissandra here. So not for teleports, gonna be trying to kill Disenchanted in the mid lane, I guess.
Yeah,
but I was gonna say maybe the wave clear not as big of a deal because back in our day can afford to be a little slower on the wave clear. They're not playing against the range AD carry on the enemy team, so tower sieges will be a little more of a slower play from TFF.
Yeah, Victor's decent at it, but it's no AD carry for certain.
Yeah, and Victor, he really struggles until he can get that first Hex Core. He's super weak, a lot weaker than Lux. Even probably weaker than Ziggs. His level 1 and 2 are very strong and probably one of the strongest in the game, but it's not something. It's only for like a trade. Like you can't continue pressuring with it normally unless you're against a melee matchup, which they're not. If Leona Jhin play this correctly, they should 100% win this lane.
But sometimes Salvo and Scotch, that's a big if.
Question mark. The teleport nerfs coming through is actually something to talk about if no one has said anything so far. The Tale of Fort, as per usual, not running that teleport in the top lane.
Freg's not going to leave the top lane. So
he's not going to leave.
Not gonna leave.
But the cooldown did go from, was it 5 to 6 or 4 to 5? I know it was an added minute.
I couldn't tell you. And
they added a minute to teleport. Wow.
Yeah, which teleport is still always going to be important in competitive play, just to have pressure on another side of the map without risking playing into a numbers disadvantage. But it was mainly to stop all the people who were bringing teleport bot lane. So as you see, Salvo's not going to be bringing the teleport this game like he did last time and sticking to the heal.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the teleport anyway, outside of competitive play for the bot laners. I think at a little bit lower level play, you're likely to see a few more 2v2s, and it's pretty nice to have that heal or whatever you choose in a 2v2 situation. So, and I think the prevalence of like Heimerdinger not as strong in this league. So I never really liked it for the bot lane, but it probably was a necessary nerf. Teleport's been super strong for a long time, so
we need the 9 times Brandon. Didn't bring it.
That's rough.
He didn't have the God King. Not for Garen.
I thought he had it, but he had the Darius one.
He has the Darius for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Hibbs is our resident top lane experts. How does this top lane play out, especially with Freg having the Ignite?
So I only play a few champions in top lane. I only know what they do. But I think that Garen is really strong right now, and I think he's like a really soft counter to Darius.
Really?
But
yeah,
I think
he's traditionally played well in that lane.
Yeah, I think it's still, just from thinking about it, I think it's still more of a skill matchup. I think the Darius can outplay. So, especially with Ignite, I think it's still pretty dangerous for the Garen, but I know the Garen is favored. So,
all right, well, Spiffy gonna be a little split from his team here, but no one committing hard to this, as to be expected.
Gonna be running that Guardian, keep him a little bit safer in lane. It shows how much more passive they want to be playing compared to Scotch with the Aftershock. And that is that the Fury of Blades. I always forget what that mastery is called. That Jhin runs.
Blades, something like that. I don't know.
The wheel of time. The Fury. I think it's Fury of Blades. But anyway, it basically makes it to regular ADCs. It will give them attack speed, but specifically for Jhin, it just gives him extra damage when he's trading with champions. So.
Well, extra damage is always cool.
Yep. I'm very curious as to how this mid lane's gonna go.
Yeah, this is I'm actually pretty excited to see all 3 of these lanes. I like the way this draft played out. As we see creeps being missed if the top lane is up. Freg is already forcing the issue. He has Ignite advantage, and if Freg actually takes a tower shot, now Shotman going back in. He has to be careful. There's a flash from Freg, a flash follows from Shotman, and a level 1 first blood. Freg, fuck yourself!
Oh.
What a disaster. Now he won't be able to teleport back to the top lane, guys. This is it. This is what I've been waiting 9 weeks to see happen. An Ignite top lane disaster. And now it has finally happened. Shotman will immediately teleport back to this lane to keep the pressure alive.
Is that how Garen counters Darius? Is that how that works?
No, make it. This isn't. Okay. Freg literally walking into 4 extra creeps, takes a tower shot, flashes like pretty late honestly.
Is that not how the matchup plays out?
I don't know how the matchup plays out. I don't expect the Darius to always be just walking in the tower, but you know, maybe it is. What do I know about top lane?
Honestly, that is standard Darius play. If you're the Maokai in that situation, you probably die. So he's just used to playing against different champions.
The secret is you got to pick up the Scarian, apparently.
Yeah, now I know.
Oh my gosh.
So Chopman did opt to save his teleport, although we do have a Space Force coming in the mid lane, barely going to miss the stun on Renai though, but there is Kled getting the Dicker Dog.
He's dead.
Oh Jesus Christ, Chopman!
Disenchanted.
I casted everything wrong there, but I will not cast everything wrong here. Frank, you have no flash, you have no defense. Master come forward. Look at that ignite. That is the face of a tilted man who knows he has already lost his team this game of League of Legends. And Splinter and Chopman are both 1-0. At least Disenchanted gives TFF something on this map.
And we'll have to see how Table 4 do with Freg at a disadvantage. We haven't seen him at a disadvantage in a couple weeks, and
yeah, the last time. Splinter. Do you guys remember what happened the last time Freg was at a disadvantage?
I assume they lost.
0-7-2 Jax against Ornhub a few weeks back. We haven't seen Freg play well at a disadvantage. I mean, sometimes we don't see him play well at advantage. And Darius, if you're not at advantage with Darius, there's not easy ways to be effective later in the game. This is going to be a huge test for Freg, who has had a lot of very awesome games this season.
What more can you say? Really, their only hope right now is going to be in this Kled, which is pretty well known to fall off. I don't know about Kled's late game, but by the time Freg will even be able to fight this Garen, probably going to be too late. And he can't, it's not like he can teleport and stay in a side lane like he would want to.
Yeah, well, Darius is still trying to make it happen. He's getting some decent damage out on the Chopman, but the creep damage is coming through. It's going to be a fairly even trade. Remember, the Ignite is on cooldown here. Freg, once again, takes a big tower shot, and Chopman can just teleport back to this lane.
Terrible.
But Splinter is making his way up there. He's not level 6 just yet. And he will beat Space Force to that lane by a decent amount. It doesn't look like there's any sight here for Freg. No, there's not. So Master Splinter going to walk right in. It's a big creep wave, but Splinter can easily finish this one off, and Master Splinter 2-0.
The God King goes down yet again. 0-3. It's horrifying.
Okay, I'm doing something.
Hey, tell her I said hi. I love you too, Mom.
Yeah, that's... They're home, you know, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna say before.
You gotta tell them you're watching the Fall of the God King.
Yeah, they probably are up to date on it. So, I was gonna say this is the dream for Nocturne. Like this is, I mean, coming into his first level 6 gank with 2 kills and a few more items. I mean, this bot lane, if he so chooses, is just gonna blow up.
Yeah, and in some of Splinter's slower games this season, he's fought and just not quite been able to get the kills. With that extra 2 kills worth of gold, though, on Nocturne, it's an easy path to the snowball here for Master Splinter, and he can go anywhere he wants with his advantage. I would be very scared to beat any of Table for 4's laners right now. As we see Chopman kind of playing this slow up in the top, but he's now starting to be able to take Tregs a bit more aggressively. Yeah, he's looking for an ult here.
I think this is over.
Yeah, this is over. Here comes the ult. And Demacia!
God, I would not want to play against this Garen either.
You can already see the item advantage. Phage. The Phage to just the Ruby Crystal, really. Otherwise, it's pretty similar. It's just gonna get worse, especially if he keeps dying. You can't just salvage this as the Darius. So
I hate to make such a bold statement, but I think this game is already over. I don't think there's a comeback mechanic with a 0-4-0 Ignite Darius at 8 minutes. I think that just... unless somebody in one of the other positions on the map finds 3 or 4 kills in the next 6-7 minutes, I just don't think there's a play here. And Master Splinter, he's an asshole. He does not give a shit about playing fair. He will just keep camping the hell out of Frag. He will make sure Frag stays tilted.
And
Yeah,
stays
that's
no wards.
somewhat of a win for Frag. The smallest victory he's had in this game so far.
He did have to flash though.
Exactly. It's still.
Now he's just going.
Yeah, he doesn't. He does not like to stop. Shotman, he's got the edit. Now Shotman, he is playing these trades fairly slow. Frag is.
He's dead, right?
No,
Whoa.
you got him.
Wow.
Embarrassing out of Shotman there. Should not have given that up. He was trying way too hard to bait that in for Splinter. He's gonna take the 1-for-1, but maybe a tactical 1-for-1. Maybe they wanted Frag to be worth gold again.
Yeah, really a mistake by Dario Chapman.
Yeah, but it's gonna maybe work out alright here. They're trying to pop Space Force, although Splinter is very low as well. Splinter flashing towards his tower, but Disenchanted trying to follow the Blitz, putting down the good damage. Gets a kill, and Space Force just barely made it out. Now Disenchanted trying to go onto Renai, gets another flash out. That was a lot of summoners blown on both sides.
I think a pretty big misplay by Blab there. He pops his ult a little too early. If he tanked the hit out of Kled and then ulted afterwards, he would have nullified a lot of his damage, and the Nocturne would have been a little healthier in that fight. I don't know how much it would have helped him looking back, but not the optimal play.
Yeah. And that kill that Fred gets on Brandon, the shutdown gold has recently been buffed pretty hard. So he does get 450 gold back with only 2 kills on the game. So that's not the worst. He's still 700 gold down, but it's the little things. And it means he's not 05.
Yeah, but now Scotman going back at it. That Ignite is down, so he can trade a bit more aggressively.
Yeah, the Garen ults back up, so the timing's good for him to play aggressive.
Yeah, he's gonna. I think he saw Space Force there up north near the top lane. Although Renai could be in some danger here. Oh no, just kidding. Ooh, a hook onto Salvo though. That's gonna pull some turn.
He's still taking
a nice
turret.
Nautilus ult comes through. Salvo had a flash. You know, on this top lane, Space Force does come in on the gank. Doesn't find anything though. But they did get both the summoners out of Salvo in the bot lane.
Pretty big mistake out of Salvo there. The Nautilus has really good engage potential with that ulti. He still has his flash. If they get a gank from Captain Space Force and Leona Jhin just keep blind pushing like they have been, could be able to do something for it.
Renai has to ult defensively here. Kled trying to get the finish, but there comes Space Force. The ult away from the tower, but Blab does get the double.
He's so good.
He's still popped. Disenchanted, able to stay out of turret range enough. No, Master Splinter is coming near. He wants to try to pop this. Here comes the darkness. Here comes the Splinter. There's one kill. Space Force is low, and there's a double for Master Splinter.
Yeah, good cleanup there. Getting the Nocturne even further ahead. I like this game so far still. I think it was over, now it's not over. Unfortunately. But or fortunately for the sake of the game, I guess. But Splinter getting ahead is still very big for them.
I think a big thing if this game goes on is it's already going to be hard enough for TFF to push turrets without an AD carry. Now they have to deal with a gigantic Nocturne who will ult in anytime they try to push onto a tower with all of their short ranges.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be a farm and get objective sort of team. They're going to need like the game to go later on into the Baron territory for them to have too much of an impact, I think.
Table for 4's only real late game damage is through this Victor, and how will Victor even survive against this super fed Nocturne right now?
Yeah, well, we do see a 3v3 breaking out as everyone's kind of leaving Scotch out to dry here. But the fight's going to be disengaged.
He's being so aggressive, which I guess makes sense for Frag. It's just he takes tower shots here.
Yeah, he's a big fan of that tower, but he actually does get some big damage out on the shot, man. He drops the ult and the ignite, and
oh my god.
Frag with the question.
Frag is not done yet, boys.
This is embarrassing.
If your first dive doesn't go well, if your second dive doesn't go well,
it's obviously his level 9 power spike of Raptor Cloak is really what's pushing him ahead here. That's I don't know what to say other than Kaufman's really just fighting him with auto attacks. Oh,
yeah.
That's
yeah, Shotman's playing this with zero respect. You gotta remember, you gave all of those skills over to Master Splinter.
One thing I think every player needs to keep in mind is that the only player that gets away without showing respect is Frag. Everyone else needs to pay their dues just a little bit. Just a little bit. There's only one Frag in this league.
Yeah, and he is starting to frag out a bit here. What a strange game. We could maybe have a jungle fight here though. Space Bars. Jesus! Does not their W! Look at how much damage that does!
And he's not even maxing it, that's just level 1. Wow. Just shows how far ahead he is.
Yeah, he's big. Got that dust blade already. Oof, I thought that was gonna hit.
If Spiffy hits the Leona, they actually just lose that fight though. I'm 90% sure.
Alright, what happens this time? Shotman, you've already used up your spin to win, but you've got the creep advantage.
Round 8.
Oh, he misses it. Losing lots of damage here. Is Garen
getting...
Oh,
Garen.
Space Force is there! It was a bait and a bad blast, and now in the bot lane, Nocturne comes in, trades out of the Victor, and they want to take out Spiffy as well. Spiffy flashes, and it's a dangerous flash, but it's a double kill. Master Splinter, a kill every other minute. And now in the mid lane, maybe disenchanted under some pressure here. Renai putting out some damage. Scarl, we out of this. As Renai putting down the damage, the ignites are being traded, but Renai flashing out. Manages to get the kill while back in our day. Also take bot lane turret.
Our entertainment this game is definitely the top lane, but the story of the game is literally everywhere else. As Splinter ganking bottom lane gets him up to 7-1.
Yeah, now Renai on the long chase away from Captain Space Force. He's going to be stunned. Space Force, you may have gone too far. Scott gets the snare, gets the stun, and Renai's circulation gets another kill. Now Master Splinter going to try to 1 versus 2. Pulls some summoners out in the process, but gets away with a flash and a couple of blast cones.
Oh, that's some teamwork. Great A.
I don't care what anyone says. Blast cones are awesome for this game.
Watching teams just screw up the team blast cone is my favorite thing.
Yeah, especially when it happens and
when someone dies for it. Yeah. I've seen that happen a couple times myself.
You just give up the cannon creep to go for a Q.
You don't understand. These guys, you do not play the same lane as those two.
What do you go for otherwise items here for the Garen? Do you just Deadman's?
What should you go or?
Yeah, what should you go? Like a Thorn Mail to maybe stop the Darius healing?
I'm not too certain.
He should probably go a little on the tankier side. Just because Master Splinter's so far ahead, they don't need 2 melee carries on this team. But I don't think that's what Shaman's going to do. I think he's going to go for the Deadmans and go for that Bruiser builds. As they're trading again, but Master Splinter is here, and Jesus
no flash.
Christ, Master Splinter chunks out. They're going to trade Freg's life for an Ocean Drake, it looks like.
Maybe.
Although Scotch and Salvo are on their way there. They will not have Splinter. They should just trade this for the turret in top lane.
Yeah, Freg can't teleport back. This would be dangerous.
Yeah, that will be it. So that's a dragon, but going to be hopefully traded for the turret here if Shotman can stop tanking those shots. But nice rotation out of TFF in this mid lane, so This game pace might be accelerating a bit. Frank still has not spawned. Splinter, no ult available.
Watch this Lissandra wave clear.
Yeah, wow, dude, it got all the creeps that
happened. Next time, all right. Pay attention.
He's only got a proto belt right now, which I don't even know if I'd want that.
No, I think the Zanya's early, just a straight up early Zanya's would have been ideal given the dive potential coming out of TFF.
This could be a good situation for back in our day. They just got the Rift Herald. They're setting up in this mid lane. As Splinter on the side is chunking out Space Force, and Space Force goes down. But Splinter might lose his life in the process, he will. But it's a 1-for-2, a tower dive being executed here. As a big Leona gonna miss a nice blast going out of table before, but it may not matter. Scott's still getting onto this enemy backline. Just trying to take some damage, and there we go. Double kill onto the Garen, and they're gonna try to finish off onto Frank here. Can they find the shots? Shotman maybe doesn't need any assistance. He goes forward. A triple kill for the Shotman. And a 1-for-4 in favor of back in our day.
The God King goes down. The gold bleed just goes further. It's now 6,000 gold lead, I believe.
Yeah, mostly on Splinter. I guess that gold lead finally starting to get spread around a bit. Splinter is only up 3,700.
Only. Oh no. This is real tragic. Splinters actually can just go for an early GA here and probably never die. That's so scary. I know. Well, an exhaust can only get you so far early, and they're gonna try to save turret.
Looks like they're gonna succeed. There is a decent amount of gold in the inventories of back in our day. Shotman particularly sitting on 2,500, so they should probably spend. Did he just ult to clear creeps?
No, he ulted to stop Splinter from using the Rift Herald. That's actually a really
yeah, Splinter got a little greedy on that Rift Herald spawn, not gonna lie. That was he was way too far up when he popped that.
What are the chances he meant to put a ward down instead of putting it?
I've done that. Then it's actually a decent warding spot, so I don't doubt it.
Yeah, it feels bad.
By the way, to make up for the lack of teleport on Frag, we have some cross-map pressure coming out. The Zizzarat portal has been acquired.
Oh. That's...
I can hear the disappointment in your voice, Cal.
some real 1v1 potential that he needs. Maybe the minions will help him.
Yeah, well, they might not save him from this. That is Master Splinter coming in. Frank gets the turret, but the cost will be his life.
Is that ulti really even worth it from Splinter at this point? Frag wasn't going anywhere. I think he was pretty dedicated, but you know, I'm not the 9-2 Nocturne, so who am I to say?
It's definitely good to get another kill on Garen, because ideally you want the Garen to be able to handle going up against him by himself.
What is the Randuins? Just for the slow?
Well, I kind of like it. There's everyone but Victor is going to be fighting in melee range for table for 4. And as I said before, I would like to see Shotman go with a tankier build here instead of going for damage, because they don't need more melee damage on back in our day. I think this skills them really well into 5v5s.
Randuins is mainly Randuins is mainly there for the crit, getting rid of crit though, and he could have built something just like a Righteous Glory.
He could have built the Go Fast armor item, the one that makes it faster. I think
Deadman's or Righteous Glory would have been fine, and it still gives slows. So,
he's trolling. He's trolling Zach.
That guy's a smite. Oh, no, he's giving to the. There he is. He's resigned. Oh, this is a face check.
Disenchanted, in some danger here. Shotman going forward. Space Force just knocking that Garen into 4 members of the team.
This is a good fight for Victor.
But Victor is going to get a lot of damage here. This maybe could be the fight for table for 4. If they're not chasing forward, they've played it 1-for-1. But now
Splinter's low.
The back in. Splinter comes for the re-engage at just the right time. fight. A nice turn quickly with double good message. There's still a lot of full health time. Gabriel will try and take forward here. As Salvo wanted to get some autos out, but he did not quite find enough damage. It's a 2 for 2. For now a reset kill from Frag, making that a 2 for 3. A win for table for 4. Now Space Force flashing forward, trying to get the kill into Salvo, and he will. 2 for 4 and table for 4. This game is not over yet.
That's just not how you want to fight with a Nocturne on your team. I don't think you want to funnel down into that narrow quarter like that into a Victor, as Cal just said. That was a perfect fight for Victor.
Yeah,
there was no threat on him.
We've seen this happen with back in our day. Sometimes they get a big lead and they get a little cocky about it. And now they're giving up 2 turrets in the mid lane. A lot of this gold lead equalized off of that one fight. Although Shotman, oh, he cancels the auto. That's probably going to cost him his life to trade for this top turret. Ignite does come out.
Oh, look at that Randuin's.
And they're just going to run back onto him.
Yeah, Shotman's got a long way to go. He does not have a flash available.
I was just gonna say, if he got out due to Randuin's,
it may.
I was gonna be pretty
I'd have
stoked.
to call back all my words, but no way, no way. I don't even think any speed item would have saved him. But like Swift actually said, if he would have autoed early there and not canceled like 3 autos, he probably would have had a much better chance.
Yeah, canceled autos are the bane of everybody's existence for sure.
Including Garen especially, actually. People have talked about how he just needs... If they just make his autoing a little bit smoother, the champion would feel so much better. An old champion.
How does back in our day go about attacking this?
Picks.
I mean, they definitely need to get picks. I mean, Victor is pickable on the bottom side of the map with the Nocturne. Darius is almost to the point where it's a waste of time to go on to him because he can delay quite a bit with his healing. So they definitely need to make something happen. Probably not in a 5v5 situation.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's such a tough setup for table for 4 that back in our day, you have a lot of opportunities to find a pick while TFF is just setting up on the map.
Yeah, I think if Splinter just waits in the sidelines while his team engages a 5v5, finds that Victor, in a regular scenario where they're not in a little funnel situation, they should win that fight 9 times out of 10. Like, 11-3, Stormrazor... Okay, Stormrazor, Duskblade, Skirmisher, Saber, or Nocturne will one-shot this Victor.
Oh,
he doesn't have zombies yet.
This could be the pick. Splinter's coming in. This is 2 members being caught out, coming in from the flank, but he is taking a lot of Garen damage. Splinter downtown, gets the kill on his Space Force, and now this is looking like a bad fight for TFF. Disenchanted has a long way to go, and he is not going to get there. Shotman with that kill, and now that Splinter was pretty deep, zoning pretty aggressively, so it's a 2 for 1 so far, and now Frank playing pretty far forward here as Salvo and Scotch, actually Salvo being split from the CP, Spiffy misses the hook, and that turns into a kill. Bad play out of Spiffy, wasted the exhaust in the meantime. A 1 for 3 now in favor of back in our day, and it looks like they're going to start setting up in this mid lane.
We're talking about bad fights for TFF. One of their victors just still walking in base. And Freg was still bot side. Everything was bad. They don't have teleport. They can't join that fight, and they're going to lose the tower for it.
And one thing to keep in mind...
though, Scotch does have to flash defensively here, and Freg and Gabe are actually going to hold this turret in the 2 vs 4.
Victor's wave clear is pretty solid, especially when he pops that ult. What I was going to say is...
Scotchers, though, wants to keep this up. They're flashing forward. They pop the Lissandra ult defensively, not offensively.
Nice chain.
But it doesn't cost them. They get the kill on the Gabe. And now that is the wave clear off the table. Both of the side lanes are prepped. Back in our day should keep this pressure online.
They got their both sideways pushing. They could go Baron, for sure.
Yeah, they have a very ahead smite. Master Splinter 2 levels up on Space Force here if this comes into a smite fight. And a lot of ways to get kills on the entry as it's all melee champions running into the Baron pit. Kled just now showing on the bot side. Captain Space Force is pretty far away. And Blabur currently zoning, although he is on top of a ward. I think this should be free enough for back in either day. Although Space Force and from a long way, just I'm making the way here, but Spiffy gets in pretty far from his team. That Splinter is now ultimately taking vision away from the enemy team. They have killed the Nautilus, and now they are going after Space Force. That's a double kill.
Baron is killing Salvo in the back line. I think Kled is he gonna finish him off? He is.
This might continue. Greg, look through the resets. That's 2 fights for table for 4, but it's not going to be enough. Baron, though, did reset, and this is an aggressive Baron. Game O'Neal is on his way here. Do they think they can do it without the AD carry? Victor sees the big play. Master Splinter is low, but he has a Guardian
I think Scott
Angel.
just ran out of mana with using his W.
Oh, and Baron's going to take that GA from Master Splinter. That was a really bad call to get back onto Baron.
Oh yeah, for sure. They really, when they got off of Baron, Salvo took like 3 or 4 shots from the Baron, lost all of his health, and then got jumped on by Kled and died because of it. I have to imagine they could have done that better.
Yeah, not always the cleanest as this team transitions into the late game.
Peeling off the Baron is always an ordeal.
It bothers me to watch these teams do it too, because peeling off the Baron, it shouldn't be that easy. You have this, 5 to 10 seconds ahead of time where you can very clearly tell your team exactly what's going to happen. And a lot of teams just don't use that time that they're burning down Baron efficiently. It's suddenly Baron's at 4,000 health, and then somebody goes, "Hey, should we fight instead?" And that's what it looks like happens for back in our day there.
Oh. And right now, Captain Space Force, super squishy. He didn't go for that Cinder Hulk, he went for the Runic Echoes. And he also went for a Glacial Shroud at the moment, with only a Knight's Vow for help. So if they catch him, he's probably gonna get one shot.
Yeah, now Splinter, though, he actually took a lot of damage on his entry there, but they've still managed to split table for off the Disenchanter with the Zani's Hourglass, wasting a lot of time here. Disenchanter made his way out, and Disenchanter actually treasures that Splinter in the thick of the fight. While this is going on, Darius with this portal is doing some damage to the opposing base. He's taking a tier 2, and he is not done pushing. Table for 4 is not losing this fight that hard, and there's big pressure in this top lane. Dire Trapman had to teleport back to base here, although Space Force maybe sticks around too long. But Dario Shotman will not be able to hold this inhibitor tower while all this is going on.
Trapman did use his ult, and there's a lot of damage on Frag.
But there's
and
4
healing.
minions.
Yeah,
I think Frag wins this. Oh, never mind.
Who knows?
He still might. There's
Honestly,
a lot of
who
creep
knows?
damage going on to the Shotman.
He used Ignite. Oh.
Neither of them knew, so they back out.
It's just like, nah.
Oh, Salvador gets the big snare on the Gabe O'Neal.
Wait.
And that is a costly pick.
Yeah, that was a good recognition there by back in our day, knowing that there's no way he should have been able to stay under turret.
Yeah, he did the right thing in Wing the minions, but he couldn't. He had to line up his E really fast there as the Victor. I played a lot of matches on him, and you can't take the auto from Jin with that rapid fire. You gotta expect him to land his abilities. He's a good enough player for that. 3 Drakes.
Yeah, that's the big ones though. Two oceans and air.
Yeah. Only the only breathing room for table before is the fact that they got pretty unlucky.
Now we see another Baron setup coming here for back in our day. Probably can't go as bad as the last one.
Well, this time Darius is here, so there's a chance.
Spiffy is currently in base though. If something does get started up, not that back in our day would have knowledge of that though. But I think they're just content to bait right now.
Walk over the ward. No, he won't.
But Lissandra is currently recalling. Yeah, Lissandra goes back to base, so back in our day probably will not fight this without Labuer.
Look at that ZZ rut.
The good value
Taking
is
6
easy right
autos.
there.
And they're walking. This is greedy, I think. Well,
Yeah, Splinter actually is being completely split from his team.
I think he's looking to go at the back end and take out that Victor. That's the only thing I can think of that he's really interested in counter jungling at this point in the game.
This is kind of awkward because they're getting bad back times. Brandon has to back, and he
Yeah,
doesn't
this
have the
is
teleport.
Honestly embarrassing. This has been like a wasted minute and a half out of back in our day. I mean, they honestly look flustered. They have lost a few fights or not been winning fights decisively after this huge lead they had early, and I think they're starting to second guess themselves as they head into this late game.
I mean, they either have different ideas or no idea on how to end this game. I can't really tell which.
Yeah. Normally, it's you just want to be starting that Baron and getting a fight there and winning off of that, but they've against the Victor Kled, it's a little bit awkward if they
don't go in.
Oh,
Your Leona's way back.
Oh,
the Victor's gone.
Victor is way back
Victor.
too. Master Splinter finds him. Can he get the pick? Yes, of course
He's
he can.
W'd badly.
14th kill for Master Splinter.
you have to W immediately there, Victor.
Yeah, and now this fight continues. That's a second kill. Space Force is down. Smite off the table. What does Back in Our Day do? I'm thinking they're going to siege here the old-fashioned way because there is literally zero wave clear available. And it might be even worse. They don't have Frag. They find Snippy. They're chasing Disenchantment out, but that's going to be Inhibitor Turret followed by Inhibitor. Frag taking some big damage here, and this
He's
could be
dead.
the game-ending fight. Frag goes down. It's just Disenchantment alive for a good few seconds here. The Inhibitor is down. The creeps are here. Shotman forcing this Kled out. Finds the kill. It's just Game O'Neal on the respawn, but that's a lot for one Victor to hold. And this game got cloudy for a while, but Back in Our Day had too much of a lead to fully throw this one. And they advanced to 7-2 to stay tied for first place.
Table for 4, welcome to Damascus.
What a weird game of League of Legends.
Ooh. Are you guys thinking about to interview?
I'd like to talk to Wes about that one.
Yeah, I was thinking about metagaming that, but that was too west of a win.
Which Wes?
We'll see if we can pull him in here if he's not running late towards work.
User joined your channel.
And there he is, Master Splinter coming off a big game. Awkward game, but a win.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you ask a question? I had the stream going, so it was...
Splinter, what the hell happened that game?
Well, we were crushing them, and communication got a little fuzzy at the end. We had multiple times we could have done Baron, and it wasn't executed right. And then my GA got lost by Baron, which just totally tilted me. So,
Specifically, that one fight, walking kind of in their jungle. That was
yeah, so that fight, how it started was I wanted to back to get my Storm Razor. I started back, the Kled came up, call was made to go on him, and I liked the call, but once he got away from us, I stated, let's back off. But it was a clusterfuck of communication, so a lot of people wanted to go forward, and so then we had to commit to it, and it didn't really end up in our favor. That's how I perceived it. That's how I remember it, so...
I got a question that I think is kind of interesting. So, Table for 4, I see them as like this like really volatile team. You have the possibility of like Frag going off. Zach is a pretty volatile player. How did your team prepare coming into the week in terms of dealing with that team?
Well, there's a lot of discussion on what we should let through for Frag. Really, because he's been the one that kind of goes off on their team, and I don't know if that's a lack of a good top laner that he's going against, or if he's just really good. So I think it's a lack of good top laners in the league. But nonetheless, we were discussing on what we wanted to ban. There's options on banning everything from him to just nothing. And really, I think I just wanted to get rid of the Singed. I think a lot of us did. Kind of annoying
wants to
champion.
see that champion.
Yeah. And then we also were discussing about with Zach, we think you just take away his Trundle and he doesn't nearly perform nearly as well. And we thought he would first pick it, so.
To quickly ask about this one, that very last pick that ended up winning you guys the game. I know it was a bit of a mistake from Gabe, but I did like the wards you guys had prepared. You seem to have a really good ward down middle that caught the Victor off guard. And that was pretty much the reason you guys won the game, was because he was alone while the rest of his team was trying to contest Baron. Who is really all in charge of getting these wards out to where they are? Is it like a combination of
I think it's a combination.
the whole team?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That ward, whoever, I don't even know who put it down there. To be honest with you.
I think it might have been Scotch. He definitely had the highest amount of wards placed. Just being a support usually means that, but I'd like to say well done by your team to at least have the better vision for that. Because I think it won you the game.
That's been one of the things we really needed to improve on, is our vision. So
All right,
I think
well,
we're working on it.
You guys 7-2 here. You are currently tied for place. You had a bit of a lull in the middle of the season, but you guys are still in this running to be the first seed. How do you feel about just this clusterfuck of a top of the table situation heading into the playoffs?
Yeah, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think we're the best team, but we got to come and play each week. So I mean, like I said, and every team I think can say that. So yeah, I guess I'll go with the easy thing and just say we're gonna take it. I don't really got much else to say about it.
All right, well, the Splinter has spoken, so congratulations on another 15 kill game added to the long list of them.
Also,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, it's fine. Also, just the first seed is going to be really amazing because these top 3 teams are all very competitive. So when you don't have to play that set of 5 games, it's going to be like amazing to just prepare for the one team. Takes a lot out of you, you know.
Yeah, this seems like a season where the seed is going to matter a lot more than normal because it's going to be a bloodbath. I think the top 4 teams are going to really make each other work when we get to the playoffs.
I agree.
But, all right, well, that's going to do it, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes here with the marquee matchup of the week. Enemy Gate is down versus Ornhub coming up to see who will be tied with Back in Our Day for first. So stay tuned.